Hello everybody and good morning and welcome to our Thursday morning live where I jump in here and answer any of your questions that you might have for your midwife that you haven't had a chance to ask, or maybe you're earlier in your pregnancy and you're still keeping it nice and quiet and it's still an exciting stage and you haven't actually started to see your midwife. Wherever you are on your pregnancy journey, I am here to answer any of your questions that you might have that you would like answered. That was just a very long way of saying hello. As you're all coming in, you know that I adore when you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I know a lot of our members who are already part of our online program jump in here each week to ask their questions as well. So please say hello, let me know where you're watching. To all of our new followers, which is just so lovely to have you here in this community, please say hello. I'm Edwina, I'm a registered midwife, and I've actually been a midwife for 15 years. And at the beginning of COVID, this is actually when we started doing our Call the Midwife. So we've been doing these Call the Midwife sessions for about a year, and I absolutely love it because I love talking to pregnant women. I love supporting pregnant women and their partners. To that point, last week I asked you all, do you think your partners would want some specific content just for them? So we are going to be hosting a Dads and Partners event in a couple of weeks where I'm actually inviting my husband on to share his experience about preparing to become a father and what his role was in the birth suite for Polly and Theo's births, which I'm super excited. He does not love being on camera, so it is taking a bit of convincing, but I am very excited about that. And I think it will be hugely valuable for all of the partners and fathers, or all the support people who they want to know what to do in the birth suite as well. Hello, Narissa. Morning. Had my first baby on the 27th of the 3rd, witching hour. Goodness. Watching from Northern Rivers, New South Wales. My boy is named Zeke. Oh, that's gorgeous, Narissa. And I have a very dear friend who has a little Zeke, and he is an absolute sweetheart. So what a great name. And so the Partners Live will be coming in the next few weeks, and I am also going to let you know today. I am super excited because, again, you've been asking for it. We do quite a few masterclasses, but we haven't done our masterclass recently on how to have the safest, most comfortable, most enjoyable labor. And I'm going to give you 3 really good tips and tricks that you all need to do me a favor and share with all of your pregnant friends, all of your mummy groups. It's absolutely 100% free. I'm really conscious that not everyone at this stage of their pregnancy is able to invest in quality education, so we try and give as much as we can as well. Hello, hello. Now, one of the questions that I actually just got asked on Instagram, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity. There's the masterclass link there. That's the amazing team who behind the scenes support me with everything tech. So there it is. You can now grab that link, share it in all your mums groups, share it in all your I'm expecting in, I just love that there is such a strong community on Facebook. It is 100% free. I want to be really clear on that. And it will probably go for about 45 minutes, an hour. It's going to be really comprehensive. I'm going to have my pelvis, I'm going to have my baby, I'm going to be getting up and active. I'm going to expect you to get up and active because I'm going to show you the skills that you need to know, whether you are birthing baby number 1, 2, or 3, whether you're having an induction, whether you're having twins, multiple birth, a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after Caesar, whatever that looks like, make sure you tag a mum here so that they know about it. And please spread it on your Instagram, spread it on your Facebook. I just want more mums and their partners not to go into birth feeling like it's something that needs to be scary. It's not. There is so much that is in your control that you can do to make it a really positive experience. It's the day you meet your baby. So there is so much that I'm going to be able to teach you in that hour. So grab that link, shout it from the rooftops, do me a solid, do me a favor. I would hugely appreciate that. And it is next Thursday evening, so we can lock that in, and I absolutely cannot wait. So on that, one of the questions that I just got asked was around how to express. So give me 1 second, my breast has gone somewhere. That sounds good, doesn't it? I have a rubber boob. One of the questions was around how to express colostrum and when to express colostrum. So I think that this is a really good one, particularly for anybody who is from about 36 or 37 weeks pregnant. Hello, Claire. Claire has said, morning, Edwina. We are now 40+5, excitedly waiting the arrival of our first little one. Can't wait to share the news with you, hopefully sooner rather than later. Really hoping Bub comes before the induction date. Loving these sessions. Oh, Claire, that's so exciting. So remember all the things that you can be doing. Keep walking, keep moving, getting some rest. Mentally be preparing yourself for the arrival of Bub. If there's anything that you're worried or concerned about, share that with your partner. That is how we're going to get this labor coming on for you. I can't wait to hear your news either. Fiona has said, hi, Ed. Fiona, 37+4 from Reservoir in Melbourne. Booking in next Friday for C-section baby number 2. Surprise, Baba. How cool. Now, Fiona, you're probably definitely going to want to know this around expressing colostrum, particularly because you're also having a planned C-section. Amy has said, hi, Edwina, 4-month-old sleeping 30 minutes and wakes happy. Should I get him up or try to get him back to sleep? So that's a really good question, Amy. Can I just quickly answer that question for Amy? Because I think so much in this sleep and settle space. So we teach childbirth classes, baby and child first aid, and sleep and settle for 0 to 2-year-olds. And the sleep space is pretty political. Some people who are very opinionated and they're like, you must do it this way and every other way is wrong, or you must do it this way and every other way is wrong. And I kind of go, like everything when you're mums, can we just all give each other a break? And can we all just go, whatever works for you? There is no rules in this space. There is no, you know, I think we put so much judgment and so much pressure on new mums, like you must do it this way, or we'll be really nasty about a way that you might choose to introduce solids or feed your baby. Like feeding your baby is a really good example. My gosh, you know, those who think breastfeeding is absolutely the only way, those that think bottle feeding is absolutely the only way. Let's just remember to be kind, and it's whatever works for you and your family, okay? So I have lots of people who reach out to me and want some support with sleep because what they're currently experiencing is not okay for them and their family. It is only a problem if it is a problem for you. So maybe let's all just take a little reminder around that if somebody else is having a tough time, just saying, oh, that's just normal newborn, might not be what they need to hear. They might actually really want some support and some advice. So that's where I come in. I adore what I get to do. What I don't love is seeing on social media shaming around women making choices that are right for them and for their baby. So let's all make a little bit of a pact. That's actually what I love about BirthBeat and you as a community, because you're all so lovely. If you haven't joined our BirthBeat tribe, that is our closed Facebook page, and it is insane how lovely and kind and generous you all are with your advice and tips for everyone. And it physically warms my heart. I feel like I'm sounding like a bit of a Looney Tune here, but it does physically warm my heart that we've created this safe place for parents just to go, hey, where can we get some advice that is going to be delivered in a kind way? So let's all just remember that, because I'm now going to say to Amy, hey, what is okay for you? So your 4-month-old is sleeping for 30 minutes and wakes happily. Her question is, should I get him up or try and get him back to sleep? Well, my first thing is, are you okay with 30 minutes sleep? Does that work for you and your lifestyle? Do you have other children and quick naps might actually work in better? And does he sleep really well or for long blocks at night? Or are you at the point where you're only getting 30 minutes sleeps and blocks and you can't do anything around the house? You can't have a shower and wash your hair. You can't, cook a meal without being interrupted. Or do you feel constantly stressed and anxious because you're thinking he's going to wake up as soon as, it feels like as soon as he's put down? Do you know what I mean? If that's the case, then yeah, I'm going to teach you how to resettle him so that we can learn to link those sleep cycles. So, Amy, I realize I've used you as an example and you're probably going, geez, that was a really long answer. But I think it's just about saying, if it's an issue for you, then yes. If not, and Bub's happy and you're happy and Bub doesn't seem overtired or fussy or, challenging by the end of the day, then if it's working for you, that's absolutely fine. There's no shoulds around parenting. It's about what works for you. I know for me, Theo had a very similar sleeping habit. He's now a fabulous sleeper. I will let you know that, Amy. We get good sleep in our house, but I found that really challenging because I had a toddler at the time and I just never knew when he was going to sleep or for how long. And I needed a little bit more routine for me personally because I felt really anxious. I had quite significant postnatal anxiety. So just so you know, if it's working for you, don't worry about it. If it's not working for you and you would like your bubba to be having longer sleeps in the day, come and have a look at our online program where I actually hold your hand, teach you with videos, show you how to resettle. So you might not have any issues with settling. The difference is settling, going to sleep. Resettling is getting your bub into the routine of going back to sleep so that they learn how to have longer chunks of sleep. So come and have a look at birthbeat.com. We've got some really good resources there and I can show you how to do that. And I don't often talk about the cost here, but it's $47 a month to have me hold your hand around sleep. It is very affordable. I want this to be something that you all have access to. Sleep deprivation is bad for our health, bad for our mental health. All right. God, that was a long answer. Sorry, Amy. Hi, Edwina. My baby girl is 3 months and a few weeks. She has a bit of a sore tummy. She has green poo. Still taking her formula as usual. Noticed that she has been spilling her milk the last 3 days. Also, my oldest boy did have a tummy bug, so must have passed on to her. She also has yellow crust that gets stuck in her eyelash, but I've been taking care of that with wiping it every now and then. I'm from New Zealand. Hello, Alicia. So firstly, I would say if you're concerned that this is gastro, it doesn't really sound like gastro to me. It's not vomiting or diarrhea. But if you were concerned that your baby or toddler had gastro, it's really important that you do get them seen by a GP and focus on their hydration, because kids, if they have vomiting or diarrhea, can become quite unwell quite quickly. It does sound to me like it's, maybe a little bit of an upset tummy, maybe a bit of a transition. Often at 3 months, we can see a transition, even if they're breastfed or formula fed. So again, I just keep a bit of a close eye on that. Still taking her for. Yep. So it could be something from Big Bro, but just keep an eye on it, Alicia. If you've got any concerns, definitely do not hesitate to see your GP. In terms of the crusty eye, oh my gosh, we see so many crusty eyes, particularly with newborns and new babies, and particularly new babies who have older siblings that go to daycare and things like that. So just outright for the whole family, remembering really good hand hygiene, go back to COVID ways, washing our hands as we come into the house, just really regular hand washing is helpful. And then when you are cleaning her eye, so you're formula feeding, for anyone who's breastfeeding, I actually just say squirt some breast milk on a cotton pad, but for you, just putting some normal saline or just clean water onto a cotton pad, quite firmly wiping from the inside of Bub's eye out to the outside, and disposing that pad, getting a fresh one, going again. What I see a lot of the time is that people will go like that and wipe the eye, and all you're doing is recontaminating the eye with whatever that crustiness is. So firm, lovely wipe from one side to the other. A little junior here. So, and then out, get rid of that, wipe, get rid of that one. Please don't recontaminate the eye. And again, if you're concerned and it's really yellow and it's really gunky, probably just a quick GP visit is going to be the way for you. Thank you. Amy is already sharing the word. I love it. I love it. Amy Taylor has said thank you so much. We were just talking to Amy about her sleep. Shakiba, hi from Lara Geelong. I'm breastfeeding. My baby girl is 4 months old and I'm not counting how much I'm feeding her. Is it a limit how much or how many hours you can feed? Look, honestly, Shakiba, I have to say, it is actually more about looking at the baby. So is the bub settled after feeds, having some nice long sleeps? Does she seem satisfied? Does she have wet and dirty nappies? And is she gaining weight? They're the really key things that you need to be focusing on. Also, does your breast feel empty? Can you feel the letdown? Do you feel like, and sometimes often you can even, when Bub's 4 months old, you can hear them drinking. If all of those things are happening, then that's absolutely fine. If you've got any concerns around that, I do strongly recommend that you reach out to a lactation consultant. I meet so many mums who are having their second or third baby doing our childbirth program, and they're like, you know, oh, breastfeeding was horrendous, and I had cracked nipples and they were bleeding and the baby wouldn't gain weight and I had to pump. And I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't have to be like that. We need to ask for help and kind of insist that this is not okay. Being pregnant should not be uncomfortable. Like, there are ways that we can help you with exercises, stretching, positioning, so that you are more comfortable. B, labor is not something that you should be fearing or dreading. And C, looking after your newborn is not something that should be painful or uncomfortable or, you know, horrendous. It is actually the possibility to be really an enjoyable experience, but you need to be really well supported. So, like breastfeeding as an example, if it's painful and it hurts, get some help, please. It doesn't have to be that way. Postnatally, I have women who say that they've suffered from hemorrhoids for years, or prolapse, or, you know, bladder leakage. It doesn't have to be like that. Get the help, get the support. It is out there, and I am more than happy to share what I can with you in finding those resources. Okay, now I wanted to, sorry, I've got totally distracted. I wanted to talk about expressing colostrum. So when you're from about 36 or 37 weeks, if you have twins or triplets, talk to your care provider. You can start a little bit sooner. The reason being, it's likely that you're going to go into labor earlier, but I want you to get a clearance from your midwife or your obstetrician. And when you're expressing colostrum, and colostrum is just the first milk that you produce. So if you're after 36 or 37 weeks and you're sitting at home and watching this, maybe if you're not sitting in the office, lift up your shirt, pull your bra down, and just give your breast a bit of a massage and see if you can squeeze a bead of milk. And it might look wet, or it might just look like some condensed milk. All colostrum looks different. That's colostrum, okay? It's really good to try it after a warm bath or a warm shower for the first time, because that again helps with the letdown. The reasons that you would be wanting to express colostrum, particularly if you have diabetes or gestational diabetes, because when your baby is born, there is a higher risk that your bub's blood sugars will drop and you will need intervention, such as formula or needing to introduce an IV, so a little needle into your bub's hand, so that we can give some sugary fluid to make the blood sugars come back up. So if you have colostrum that's frozen and collected at home when bub is born, and if their blood sugars do drop, rather than introducing formula, which isn't great for their gut in the first few hours, if it can be avoided, or saving them having to have a needle. So it's really just about thinking, well, what works for you? So what you can be doing, so particularly diabetes or gestational diabetes, also if your baby has, or you know that your baby has Down syndrome, or a cleft lip, or a cleft palate, or is going to possibly have some difficulty breastfeeding, if you've had a particularly challenging first time breastfeeding, if you've had breast augmentation, if you've got what they call breast hypoplasia, which is basically just really quite flat chested, inverted nipples, any of these sort of things where you think there is a concern that breastfeeding might be a little bit more challenging for you, please, there is no harm in expressing colostrum once you've got clearance from your midwife or your obstetrician. There are some reasons that we do rule it out, and that is if you've got threatened premature labor, your waters have broken, you have a low-lying placenta. So there's pros and cons. So just please make sure that you are informed. And wash your hands, have a warm shower, have a warm bath. That actually just helps with the milk. Get a syringe. Now, I recommend just asking your midwife or your obstetrician when you next have an appointment for some sterile syringes. You open up the syringe, and what I want you to be doing is you're using the syringe to collect the little drips of milk, and it might only be a mil or two. It might be nothing, but it's just twice a day for 5 minutes or so. Keep doing it, because eventually you will start to get some colostrum. I get a lot of people that say, oh, I did it for a day and I didn't get any colostrum, so I stopped. I was like, no, you need to be a little bit more consistent and persistent. So take the little cap off the syringe, pull the flange out, so we're pulling that out and putting the cap back on. And I might actually, I'll make a little education video about this and put it on Instagram when I've got my boob. My boob is in the other room. And what you want to be doing is starting at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock with your thumb and your finger and massaging from the back of the breast through to the front. And you might notice that you start to get a bead sooner rather than later, or you might notice that it takes a little while and you don't get a bead. Then change the angle, so be coming from that side. I realize this probably looks really weird for someone who's just jumped in. And as it beads, collecting a bead each time, like so. If you're noticing that you get like 4 or 5 mils, by all means, get a little cup. So I'll make a video and I'll put it on Instagram for you all so that you can see that. And then depending how much you've got, you take that, you stick a little sticky label on it. You can keep this syringe for 24 hours in the fridge. So if you're doing it in the morning, then you can pop that in the fridge and add your nighttime, and then it goes into the freezer. Once it's in the freezer, you can actually store it in there for 3 to 6 months. However, what I want you to do is put a little label and a date with your name on it, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then when you go into labor, get your partner, get your support person to grab that little Ziploc bag and bring it in with you. So even if your baby's blood sugars don't lower or drop, what is really handy is that you're then able to, often on night 2, when your milk is still coming in, you might have a period where Bubby's very unsettled or you're wanting to get some sleep. You can have your partner drip feed the colostrum onto their tongue, line their little gut with all that goodness while you're either getting some sleep or a bit of extra rest, or you can do it as well on that second night before your milk comes in. So I hope that has been helpful. It is a really common question that I get. And I also am I'll make a little video when I've got my boob, because I think that's easier for you all to be able to see. Sorry, I've missed a whole lot of comments. Not a worry. Alicia's just saying thank you. Shakiba says she's always wants to feed. I love feeding and I've got a great supply. And yes, she's gaining weight too. And I can hear her when she is drinking. Well, that is wonderful, Shakiba. Yay, we've got mums here knowing that other mums are having their babies soon. That is fabulous. Fiona has said thanks. All right, team, I hope that has been hugely helpful. I will make a quick video to put on Instagram with the boob so that you can all watch that one as well. Here is the link to the masterclass that we are hosting next week. Please, as I said, share it far and wide. I want more mums to know that this can be a truly positive experience. It is 100% free, and I will be showing you a good, probably solid hour of content, all for free. We'll probably include some resources there so that you can download them after. So just pop your email address in the link there and I will send you everything that you need to know. Okay, team, talk to you all soon. Bye.